What's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's training where we're going to go over the 5 steps to starting a successful recruiting business in 2025, the math behind it, and what it takes to hit 6 and 7 figures in this business and just how achievable that really is, as well as why recruiting is one of the best business models for both complete beginners and experienced recruiters alike. So we're gonna get right into it, but I quickly wanna cover 2 things. Number 1, who I am and who this training is for. All right, so number 1, who am I? Well, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Russell Liebowitz, and I've been in the recruiting and staffing industry for 27 years. I've started, scaled, and sold 3 companies in that time frame, and I've worked with clients such as Bank of America, American Express, and Verizon, as well as a bunch of other big brand names that you'd probably recognize. So rest assured, I know what it takes to win in this business. I'm also the founder of Recruitemy, an education and coaching business that I started in 2019 for aspiring recruiting business owners, where we have helped over 714 students successfully start their own recruiting businesses. And since starting Recruitemy, we've seen some pretty amazing results. I'm not going to mention all of them here since it would take up too much time, and I want to jump right into the training. But you can see countless messages and screenshots on the next screen from clients who have had tremendous success in our program. And then there's Clarence Thomas, who came into our program with minimal recruiting background. He was a blockchain cryptocurrency enthusiast and saw the opportunity to do recruiting in that niche. And in under 3 months, he was able to secure a placement fee for $146,000. And we have Anastasia Gallo, who was just sick and tired of working for a recruiting agency in corporate America, giving up so much commission to the house, having to deal with restricted PTO, and most importantly, she just felt like her lifestyle was taken away from her. She had a newborn and she was having to commute to work every day and not being able to spend time with her child. So in the first week of our program, she landed 3 sales calls using our systems and processes. And we have Mary, who was never in recruiting, had 0 recruiting background. Her husband is an anesthesiologist, and she saw a good opportunity to do healthcare staffing. She joined our program. She used our templates, our scripts, our automated tools. And as you can see right here, in very short time, she was able to make a placement where the candidate was making $250,000. Her fee was 20%. So she earned $50,000 with 0 background in recruiting. And here we have Olympia. Olympia came into our program with minimal tech background. We used to laugh about it because she was so fearful about using software tools and understanding LinkedIn, etc. We eased her mind, stepped her into the program with baby steps, held her by the hand, and now she is really doing amazing things. And as you can see on this slide, she has a sales pipeline of over $70,000 right now in the works, and she recently closed a placement for $40,000. All right, so I really don't want to take too much time away from the training that we're about to jump into for you to talk about all my credibility, but the reality is we live in an age where people's trust is at an all-time low. And the amount of phonies out there trying to make money being a coach is at an all-time high. So I just wanted to quickly share some of the background and experience with you and just kind of put it all out there because I really have nothing to hide. You can look me up online, watch my YouTube content, or search me on LinkedIn. I really am the real deal. And let me show you what I'm talking about. So here's my YouTube channel where we have over 10,000 subscribers, lots of content on here, as well as client testimonials that you can go through. And here's my LinkedIn page. Feel free to connect with me where I have over 16,000 connections on LinkedIn where I do my best to provide value and content for recruiters. Okay, so with that out of the way, number 2, who is this for? This training is for anybody who is considering starting a recruiting business or is struggling to get one off the ground right now. You might be an experienced agency or corporate recruiter who really wants to go out on your own and stop making all the money for your boss, or you might be an experienced professional who has industry-specific knowledge that you want to transfer into recruiting. We get a lot of people in our program that come from that type of background. You might be an existing recruiting business owner who wants to implement our systems to supercharge your results and scale out your sales. Or you might be just completely new to the world of recruiting and are looking for the best way to get started. No matter what the case may be, we have helped students from every walk of life achieve success faster than they ever thought was possible and start building the life of their dreams. Most of them were either tired of the corporate grind, tired of making their bosses all the money from their hard work, or tired of not making enough to live the life they want for themselves and their family, or in some cases, just all of the above. And if any of this sounds like you are in the right place. Okay, with all that being said, let's officially get into the training. So number one, before we get into the steps to building a successful recruiting business, what does the math look like? How much can you actually make operating this business? Well, let's look at a few scenarios and see what's really possible. All right, so the average placement fees that you're gonna bill to your client are typically 20%. They can be 25 or 30% of your candidate's first year salary. And again, this can vary slightly depending on industry, but we're gonna use 20% for this example. And all you would need to do is land one client every other month who needs to fill a position. Let's say you're recruiting for a specific role where the salary is $100,000. In this example, you'd be making $20,000 for a single placement. Now let me ask you, how many placements would it take for you to hit your yearly income goals? If you can make a single placement every other month, you would stand to make $120,000 per year. If you made just one placement every month, you'd be making $240,000 per year. And if you start making 5 or 10 placements a month, well, now you've built yourself a 7-figure recruiting business, bringing in anywhere from 1.2 to 2.4 million per year in revenue. And the best part is you can run this thing exactly how you want to run it. You could be a solo recruiter and make a few placements a month and keep all the profits and still have a 6 or 7 figure per year recruiting business. Or you could build an empire where you're doing multiple 8 figures per year in recruiting fees with the team, office building, and everything that comes with that in growing a larger company. I know a lot of people that have started from scratch, and that's where they are today. It's really up to you. Everybody has varying levels of income and how much they're willing to work, etc. But this is why I'm so passionate about teaching people how to run their business. Like, what other business can you make $20,000 in net profit, not just revenue, but profit in your bank account from helping one company find the right candidate? So when you land a client, it's not unusual for them to ask you to find 3 more people, especially if you've done a good job in the first search. And let's say these candidates are making $100,000 a year. And let's say it takes you 90 days to fill all these positions. Boom, you just made $60,000 in 3 months, and that's just with one client. So with just 4 clients a year, you can still roughly pull in $240,000. And if we pump these numbers up, and let's say you fill a role like an AI prompt engineer, which is really hot nowadays, let's say that candidate is making $300,000 per year. So that comes to $60,000 per placement. And you do this once every couple of months, and you're up to $360,000 per year. So let me ask you something. If you were on track to pull in that much money, would you still be working your 9 to 5? Would you still be putting up with having to submit PTO to take a vacation or worry about what you do if you got laid off? No, right? And some people wait until their back is up against the wall to get started, but it's never too late. You just need to commit and go in on all 5 steps. So to put things in perspective, if you had an e-commerce business selling $50 a product, right? It would take 400 sales to hit $20,000 in revenue. And that's just revenue. Most e-commerce businesses might only keep 10, 20, maybe even 30% of that in profit. Or even if you had an online service-based business like a marketing agency, you're almost always dealing with a lot less than a $20,000 deal, more expenses on both time and money, and more headaches of ongoing client management and fulfillment month to month. So if you've heard enough and you're like, yep, Russ, this is what I want to do and I want your help, just go ahead and apply underneath this video. There's just a few questions to make sure we can help you. And from there, you can book a call directly with me or my team to go over how we can help fast track your recruiting business. So now that you know what's possible and you know the math behind it, what are the steps you need to take to start running a profitable recruiting business? We're going to talk about a unique opportunity to fast track a brand new recruiting business to $20,000 per month and beyond. And guys, listen, if $20,000 a month seems like a ridiculous number right now, we're going to do the math together so you can see that it's actually a low number compared to what's possible. We're going to go over how to get your first placement and how that's guaranteed with the system I'm about to show you. You're going to see how you can do this on the side without quitting your full-time job by leveraging OPT, which I'll explain a little later in this training. And we're going to talk about how you can do this without cold calling or manually sending a bunch of cold emails or LinkedIn messages, so you don't have to be stuck to your computer 24/7. I mean, you might have other things to do, right? So basically how you'll be able to get perfect fit candidates and high paying clients coming to you inbound. Just like Ron Carter, who was stuck doing everything manually until we showed him a new way. which landed him around $50,000 in commissions in his first month using our methods. And we also have Justin, who came into our program. He worked in medical recruiting and he acquired 50 openings using our tools and systems in less than 3 months. I'm even going to show you how you can start collecting a payment up front when you engage with clients. That's called retained search or performance-based search, which you may have heard of before. And this solves a huge problem for those recruiters who work as free recruiters or what you call contingency recruiting. So what happens is they just don't have good systems for vetting clients. So they end up working on roles that the client isn't really even serious about and really wanting to hire for, which means the recruiter ends up doing a ton of work, most of the time getting ghosted, and all this is done for free. And it's a recipe for burnout. So Taft Sanders, before he came to me, was dealing with this exact problem. He was just getting ghosted by clients. His team was doing a ton of work and he wanted to find a different way. He wanted to be valued by clients and get a payment up front. So he was able to land an engaged search in just 2 weeks of implementing our sales system. So these are the 5 steps to 5 figures per month. And it's what I call the fastest way to money in a brand new recruiting business. And after a quick overview, I'm going to go further in depth and show you how to speed up your results using OPT. So let's dive in. Step 1 is choosing a profitable niche. This can be a particular industry like healthcare or a specific role like salespeople, IT, or nurses. But don't get too hung up on this right now because at the end of this video, I'm going to send you a free course on the best way to choose your niche. Step 2 is to set up your LinkedIn profile so that the candidates and clients you want to attract see you as an insider. And if you're saying to yourself, Russ, if I do this, then there's a good chance my boss is going to find out about my new business and I'll probably get fired. Listen, the last thing I want to do is jeopardize your current source of income, which is why we have a very simple workaround for this, which keeps your business a secret until you're ready to come over and quit your 9-to-5. Step 3 is finding MPCs. MPC stands for most placeable candidate, and it's crucial to how you approach step 4, which is getting your MPCs in front of as many hiring managers as possible who are hiring for that role. And step 5 is getting a contract in place with the company who is looking for your MPC. These are the exact steps that our member Parker took with no prior experience in recruiting and was able to have a $90,000 a month after just 4 months of working together. But you might be asking yourself, all right, if starting a recruiting business is so easy, then why isn't everybody doing it? And the truth is, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, and anybody who tells you that is just trying to sell you something. So before you get yourself into something that you really don't want to be any part of, I'm going to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly. That way, if you're still watching this video in a few minutes, you'll know if building a profitable recruiting business is possible for you. I'm going to walk you through each of the 5 steps and show you where all the landmines are and how you can avoid them. And how, if you're a type of person who wants to eventually have complete control over your income, make your own schedule, travel whenever and wherever you want, become debt-free, and retire your spouse. A recruiting business is the vehicle that can take you there if you know how to do it the right way. All right, so let's dive deeper into the 5 steps. Picking a profitable recruiting niche is one of the most crucial things when starting your new recruiting business. Why? Because your business may never get off the ground if you're in a bad market. You see, guys, it's pretty simple. When you're in a bad market, sales are very difficult. Nobody's going to need you. But if you're in a good market, a thriving market where companies are spending money, they need your services and you're going to be high in demand. In a bad market, you can't really make any money. You have lower fees. If you can try to pitch 20%, more than likely the client's going to tell you, hey, it's 10%, take it or leave it. But if you're in a good market, then again, you are high in demand and you can pretty much call your price, usually starting at 30% and then compromising at 20% of head fee. This is really important right here. So in a bad market, you're having to do a ton of outbound client and candidate acquisition like cold calling, cold emails, which is never the best way to scale out your recruiting business. But in a good market, you're going to be attracting people to you through a lot of LinkedIn strategies, which we're going to cover here in a few seconds. And the obvious, if you're in a bad market, there's not much money to make, whereas if you're in a good market, sky's the limit. So this is really true. In a bad market, it becomes really frustrating. You're typically irritable. You're not sleeping at night. You're terrified. But in a good market, life is good. So let's cover the 4 factors of a good niche to be in. Number 1 is pain point, right? So do your clients have enough pain right now where they need your medicine? The second thing is purchasing power. Are these clients making a lot of money where they can actually use a third-party recruiting business? The third one, are they easy to target? And when I say that, let's make sure these people are on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the best place to grow your recruiting business. So it is important to make sure that your targets are on that platform. And then finally, the obvious, is it a growing market? Is it a growing trend, the niche that you want to get into? So let's break this down. The riches are in the niches. If you're going to jump into more general recruiting, for example, placing maybe executive admins, salespeople, typically your fee is going to be lower, around 15%. Because there's so much competition in that space. But if you can get a little more detailed and granular and be able to find a niche that's not so general, for example, like manufacturing recruiting, then you'll be able to warrant a higher rate, like 20% in most cases. Now, if we go even a layer down and get into something even more specific in manufacturing, like you want to specialize in recruiting engineers in manufacturing, your rate is going to just keep getting higher because it's not as competitive, you're more niche, and clients are really going to seek you out. And the final example is I am a huge fan of getting as niche as possible. Start a company where you're placing aerospace engineers. You will typically be able to build anywhere from 25 to 30% of annual salary. So to wrap up step 1, one of the biggest myths is that you have to be an expert in your field. Does it help? Sure, maybe. But the reality is you can develop your expertise as the business grows. Plus, imagine spending months trying to be an expert in software engineering only to realize that you hate working in that industry once you finally start it. That's why it's best not to worry about it. Plus, with the advent of AI, it's easy to sound like an expert even when you're not. All right, step 2 is turning your LinkedIn profile into a money magnet. All right, so first of all, again, if you're worried about your boss one day asking you about your new role as the CEO of your new recruiting company, then let me put your mind at ease. One way we've helped members build their businesses undercover is to have them use a spouse, a relative, a friend, a family member's LinkedIn account. But that's just one way that it can work. There's also a very specific way to craft and manage your profile so that it attracts new clients and candidates, and it doesn't require you to lie about your experience or anything else like that. It's called the PCC method, and it stands for profile, content, and comments. So let me jump into my LinkedIn account and give you some examples. So here's Daphne that has had incredible success in the healthcare space since joining our program. And she's always really good about consistently posting on LinkedIn. And so every day, Daphne makes it a habit to do 2 posts a day on LinkedIn that will attract inbound qualified recruiting clients as well as candidates. So there's 8 themes or styles of producing content on LinkedIn that we call the content matrix that was created by Justin Welsh, and we follow that practice. And they would include observational themes, actionable content, motivational, analytical, contrarian, X versus Y, present, future, and the last one is listicle. And when you follow these themes, typically your content will get a ton of impressions online. You become a brand authority figure within LinkedIn and within your recruiting niche, and people start raising their hands to work with you. This has happened with countless members in Recruitemy throughout the past 4 years. Mary is another example of having an incredible LinkedIn account that gets right to the point as to what she does. It's very relevant. It resonates with her prospects. So when a client or candidate lands on your LinkedIn account, you want to make sure it's optimized the proper way because you only have maybe 2 or 3 seconds to capture their attention, and you want them to accept your connection requests so you can start marketing to them in the way of consistent content every day of the week, including weekends. And all of this content can be set up to go out and be scheduled, so you don't have to worry about sitting at your computer and doing this every day. We'll show you exactly how to get that developed and how to get it scheduled. So with our ChatGPT custom templates, you'll be able to use our viral LinkedIn post generator to get some great ideas as to what type of content you should post on LinkedIn. We're going to give you the prompts and what you can query ChatGPT so that you'll have a month's worth of content that you can schedule to go out. And again, wash your hands of it and not have to worry and sit back and get all the inbound leads that come your way. Just like Rashida did, where she made her first LinkedIn post using our strategies, was able to get over 600 impressions or eyeballs on her content, which resulted in a new client and a new candidate, as she says right here. And here's Matt, who started posting consistently, which he had never done before, for his new recruiting business and is already creating a buzz and having candidates reach out to him, most placeable candidates, from seeing his content like the candidate said here. And then Matt recently posted in our membership site that MPCs are flowing in. That stands for most placeable candidates, which we'll cover here in a few seconds. And a few of his new posts are actually going viral on LinkedIn. And this can be you. And here's Daphne bragging about how her LinkedIn posts are going viral from following our strategies and how new nursing clients are pouring in. Steps 3 and 4 pretty much run together, and that is finding your most placeable candidate and then marketing that candidate, which is step number 4. But let's cover both steps right now. Most placeable candidate, or otherwise known as MPC, isn't just a catchy phrase, it's the golden ticket in the recruiting world. By focusing on one candidate that is high in demand, you essentially are creating a magnet that attracts multiple companies to your candidate. The common mistake here is not ensuring that your candidate is truly placeable. You might find somebody with a great resume, but if they really aren't ready to make a move, you're wasting your time. The other half of the battle here is having the right system. Most recruiters spend countless hours on the phones, leaving voicemails, typing emails that never get replies, and sending LinkedIn requests that never get accepted. So to avoid all that time wasted, we have set up automated email and messaging campaigns that drive them straight to our calendars. Now I'm gonna jump over and show you guys a quick demo on how this works. Okay, so this is where all of our templates are currently stored. And I'm gonna remove my face just so you guys can see the full page for now, and then I'll come back on. But as you can see, we've had the most placeable candidate templates back here, as well as job listing page and the shortlist page. Let me show you what that looks like. So you're gonna start sending these MPC digital portfolios out to thousands of targeted hiring managers to be able to scale out your marketing and sales efforts. This is one of our members, Matt Giovannitti, who does a great job in the renewable energy space, marketing candidates through our MPC strategies. And this right here is an example of our shortlist digital form. So when you have 2 or 3 candidates or multiple candidates that you're ready to present to your qualified client, you'll go ahead and use our template to get your candidates on here. You'll send this URL to your client. They'll click view profile to get a deeper dive into each candidate. And all these templates are here for you. You just come in and plug in, all the heavy lifting is done. And you'll have a video here of the candidate talking about what they're currently doing, how they're meeting and exceeding company objectives. These will be hyperlinks for the client to click around and see. And then if your client wants to jump quickly into Jill Smith's profile or Robert Jones, he or she is able to do that with one click of a button. The feedback we get on these are incredible, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about in a few seconds here. This is our landing page template. This works really well if you're looking to sell against free recruiting or contingency recruiting. I use this for retained search and performance-based search and was able to land multiple $100,000 fees just from using this type of template. All right, so what you're gonna do is create these MPC pages, and then you're gonna start shooting one-on-one personalized videos following a 37-second script that works like a charm. And these are videos that I have done throughout time. I practice what I preach. These videos right here, when you send them through LinkedIn, have a 90% open rate and anywhere from a 20 to 30% reply rate. Crushes cold calling, crushes cold email, because the reality is cold emails just don't get seen anymore. And with all the strict spam laws, most of your cold emails fall right into a manager's junk box. And the final tool that you're gonna use is Recruitemy Leadcast to scale out your sales efforts on automation. I talk to a lot of people that want to start their own recruiting business, but maybe don't have the ambition to do sales. And this type of tool will help you scale out your business development and hunting efforts on automation so you can do other things during your day and be able to get flooded with inbound leads. So this is Marissa and her husband, who started a recruiting business and have been following our systems. They've been able to secure over $100,000 in fees. I'll give you some examples of their campaigns that are working so well. These are automated messages, which I'll show you, that go out. And while Marissa and her husband were traveling in Italy, I remember the time, they were getting responses from hiring managers that were saying, hey, send to my email, and then including their email address. And then here's another person, Keith, who writes back, where's the candidate located? These are automated messages that managers, hiring managers, are getting throughout the world, throughout our country, and are basically sending back buying questions. So we help you set up campaigns through LinkedIn, through maybe spreadsheets that you have and leads, and then you simply set up your campaign in here. Here's all the people that pour into your campaign. And then we show you how to set up what we call a smart sequence. And these are all AI generated. We give you the ad copy, the scripts, and all the verbiage that's going to help you elicit responses so you're never having to guess and figure out how to get the best responses from hiring managers at scale. And then what happens is the messages start pouring in like you see right here. And our members are able to manage all of the replies through this one unified messaging area. But I don't have enough time on this video to show you all the responses. This is pretty incredible. And it really works like magic. What you see on this screen is just a small sample of the kind of responses we get from using the system that I just showed you. A lot of managers reply back, candidates reply back, and they want to use your services. And the best part, it's all automated. It will allow you to be on top of your business, be able to grow and scale versus being inside your business with all the headaches of trying to scale a new company. Step 5 is getting a contract signed and collecting a payment up front. Let's jump into it. Majority of recruiters will focus on the contingency model, which is really the old way of doing things in a recruiting business. It usually results in clients who aren't serious about hiring your candidates. Most of these clients are just going to waste your time and you're going to end up working for free. And since the hiring managers aren't serious, when it comes time for them to interview and hire your candidates, a lot of the times they just end up ghosting you. But with the approach that we teach inside Recruitemy, you get clients who are really committed and value your work. And the best part, they'll pay you up front before you do anything. And they'll finally make you top priority. The truth is, this is where most people get hung up. They can talk to candidates all day long, but they freeze up whenever they get a client on the phone. The trick is to approach sales with the mindset of service. Just like I'm here to service you with your journey of making over $20,000 a month and more with your new recruiting business. You're going to be saving your clients the headache from having to go out, spend countless hours filtering and sorting and sifting through candidates and B/C level people that they don't have time to do. You're going to be serving your clients by saving them the headaches of having to go out and find candidates themselves. Plus, it's okay to mess up on some of these calls. Even seasoned salespeople have bad calls. But to make sure that our members get off on the right foot, myself or one of my experienced recruiters are going to get on the phone with you and help you and be your partner in business to help you land your first deal. This way you can tap into somebody like me who has 27 years in the business. I'll be able to handle every objection that's thrown at us and take your client on the proper journey from start to close, even if you're a beginner. Okay, so those are the 5 steps to 5 figures in a brand new recruiting business. Now I'm gonna go ahead and cover how you can speed up and automate the process using something I like to call OPT. Drum roll, OPT stands for other people's technology and time. So why is this important? Well, first off, it multiplies your effort so you can get more done a lot faster. It also saves you time so you can keep your 9-to-5 job while you're building up your new side business, your new recruiting business. And you also won't need to sacrifice all your family time or social life to make this work. It gets you clients and candidates faster so you can cash your first check within a few months instead of a year or longer. And it keeps your time spent on things that are actually going to make you money, which will get you closer to the lifestyle that you desire. It's by far the best way to build a recruiting business while still working a 9-to-5 job. So here's what it looks like. Inside our program, members receive access to an ATS, otherwise known as an applicant tracking system, that keeps track of all of your candidates and client communications. It's your holy grail when it comes to staying organized. And it even comes loaded with the unique templates and landing pages that I showed you a few seconds ago. And it even comes loaded with the templates and the ad copy and the unique landing pages that I showed you a few slides back. And this system will host your personalized one-on-one videos. They also get access to Recruitemy Leadcast, which was the software that I showed you the example of Marissa, who was getting unlimited inbound messages from clients and candidates. This way, your connection requests on LinkedIn will be automated at scale without your LinkedIn profile ever being at risk of being banned. Next is AI, which you'll use to create content that attracts clients and candidates to you, as well as in your automated outreach. These 3 software tools are really all you need to get your business to making 6 figures a year. Next thing you'll want to leverage here are DFY, services like getting someone to set up your website, your LinkedIn campaigns, etc. and low-cost VAs who can help you keep up with replying to candidates and client emails and LinkedIn messages. This is your virtual recruiting routine and sources, and the reason why you really don't want to get caught in the trap of being stuck on your phone and computer 24/7. Nobody has time for that. They truly are your ticket for getting clients and candidates on your calendar week in and week out without the headaches of doing all the replies and scheduling yourself. So here's what typically happens to new recruiting business owners who ignore OPT. Number one, they try doing everything by themselves. They end up struggling with the work-life balance. They make minimal progress, and then they get burnt out. And finally, they quit. And on the flip side, those who use OPT get the benefit of having some or most of the work done for them. They get to maintain their personal relationships because they don't need to sacrifice 100% of their free time to growing their business. They make placements a lot faster, and that's energizing to them, so they tend to push even harder. And in the end, they are the ones who truly succeed. And since you've watched this so far, I know that you're not a quitter. You're not the type of person to start something and not finish it, even if that is something you did in the past. None of that matters. The past is not real. The only thing that matters is right now, present moment. And in this moment, you can make a decision. Decide whether you want to keep doing what you've always done or finally make a real change in your life. And following these 5 steps, you can truly change your life. So let's recap. Number 1, choosing a profitable niche. Number 2, the PCC method for LinkedIn. Number 3 is finding the most placeable candidate. Number 4, which pretty much works together with 3, is then marketing your NPCs to clients at scale using the tools that I showed you. And number 5 is getting paid up front. And then the bonus is leveraging OPT to automate and scale. And if you'd like help implementing these 5 steps, then I have a unique and limited opportunity for you. We're currently looking for 12 people to partner with and launch a profitable recruiting business in the next 30 days that want to fast track their income to 5 figures per month. And if you're a good fit, my team will write your messaging sequences for you, and we will set up your automated client and candidate campaigns for you as well. And I will personally mentor you every week and walk you through each of the 5 steps to your first 5-figure month, and even get on sales calls with you with your clients to help you close deals. We'll even recruit and train VAs on all your proprietary systems and install them into your business. And we'll put you into our LinkedIn influencer pod that gets you content, more likes, more shares, more comments, makes your content go viral. And what this creates is inbound traffic from qualified clients and candidates. Again, no cold calling, no cold email. You will be the authority figure within your niche and the go-to person. And we're going to hook you up with a free applicant tracking system, CRM, which will save you at least $1,200 per year. Basically, you get a copy and paste system to make placements on demand in your recruiting business. It's everything you need to start and grow your recruiting business to $20,000 a month and beyond. And this is how we're able to guarantee that you'll make your first placement with our system or you do not pay a dime. What I just laid out, I would have killed for when I first started out in the recruiting industry. A risk-free way to get off the ground, a mentor to show you what a 7-figure recruiting business looks like behind the scenes, and a community of like-minded people to learn and grow with. So my team and I have set aside time in the next 72 hours to speak with you personally about how you can apply these ideas to your business starting today. So whatever your biggest challenges are, we've seen it and we know how to overcome it. I don't care if you're like, Russ, I'm just trying to make $5,000 a month, or Russ, I'm just trying to get a $10,000 a month, or maybe you're already there, or maybe you're trying to get to $100,000 a month. It doesn't matter because we have seen it all. And this same strategy that I shared with you today is the fastest way I know to make that dream a reality. So we'll get on the phone with you for about 30 minutes. We'll work with you, craft a game plan, and get you from where you are now, from where you want to go. And I know I could charge a lot for this, but this call is absolutely free. So here's what I want you to do. Click the button underneath this video right now. It's going to take you to a calendar page. And on the calendar page, you're going to see all of the available appointment times that we have to do a call with you. Just choose whatever appointment time you want and go ahead and book it in that time, and we will call you at the time that you choose. All right, so now you have 2 choices. You can A, do nothing, not take a leap of faith, which is 100% risk-free, by the way. Or B, you can book your breakthrough call today and put yourself in the game finally. But here's the thing, spaces are limited and there's only so many people that we can speak to and work with right now. And after we fill all 12 spots, there's no guarantee that we're gonna take on any more people or have any more space. Every successful client that we've ever have started out in your shoes. They had to make a decision on whether or not they wanted to stay stuck or finally do something about it. This could be the call that changes your life. So think about your goals and think about what you're trying to achieve. And if all this did was land you one single client who asked you to fill a few roles a year, would it be worth the extra $60,000 you could make over the next 12 months doing this part-time? We would love to help you get there and do way more, but you got to click the button and book the call. And when you do this, we'll send you access to the bonus that I mentioned on how to pick a profitable recruiting niche course that you can dive into while you're waiting for our call. So thank you for joining today and thank you for watching this video. Click the button under this video and book your call. It's been great, guys. Talk soon.